Hey everybody, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast. What up?
What's up, everyone?
Hope everybody's doing good as we move into October. Halloween, the Day of the Dead.
The month of my birth.
Here we go. I know. Big
When's your birthday?
coming up? Next week?
Know.
Next week?
16.
No,
Okay.
2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
But,
give or take.
but we're
Yeah.
next week we're going out.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
better
yeah.
be there,
Yeah.
cocksuckers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm there.
One of my only
Definitely
friends,
there.
my only friends.
No, I'm definitely there.
Good.
Sean has the thing.
I've
it's
been
not-
waiting for an excuse to go out and like fucking drink.
Sorry,
so.
honey, I gotta go.
So before we do Sean's birthday, we're going to do something. It's called the Lost Colony of Roanoke.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather do the birthday.
And that's it. Night.
Yeah. Peace out, guys.
So if you've ever driven up to D.C. or New York, you have passed Roanoke.
Yes.
You've seen it. You've driven by it. It's
still
an
lost.
exit. It's an exit on the highway all the way up to D.C. and it's Roanoke, right? And so
we should have done that on our road trip.
I
We
know.
should've, yeah.
I
Would've been
know.
good.
I
That'd
know.
be cool.
So this is kind of like very similar to an episode that we did on the Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah, I love that.
You
I
know,
actually
where
really
it
liked
was-
that episode.
Yeah, where it was a mystery
This was a mystery,
story,
yeah.
you know, that sort of thing. So
But then we see what did happen?
yeah, what happened?
Conspiracize
Exactly. So this is one
This is
of
right
the
up here.
oldest,
You love these. Like
this is
these
one
like
of the oldest
like,
ones of the U.S. This is the very
I love it.
beginning, the birth of America.
Okay.
This is, at the very beginning. So, and I want to give you a little orientation of where we are. So we're going to take you back.
Yeah. History
We're going to take you back.
Let's
right?
go.
So this was around 100 years after Columbus. Okay. So
Columbus, the great fucking
this
piece
is-
of shit. That
So this is in the
Here we go.
1500s, yeah? So Columbus already came and, a little bit of
Raped
time
and
has
pillaged.
passed. Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry. I just because Columbus Day is on like the 14th. It's coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't we celebrate this piece of shit? He was the worst. He was a total scumbag.
I know.
What a weird part of history.
I know, but like that, we're still like, we'll celebrate
Like,
that.
I wonder who was the guy who was like, he found America.
I know, like all the indigenous people,
Yeah.
they didn't see
Yeah.
shit. Like, I found it.
Also, fuck Leif Erikson.
I know, right? Literally.
Yeah. Another Eric. I mean, let's be honest. We're a diamond.
He was
dozen.
Eric's son. He was Eric's son.
Yeah, I know. We're elite. We're elite. Yeah,
You're
we're
a leaf.
Yeah. Okay, so the 1500s saw the reign of the Tudor dynasty. I don't know if you've heard of the Tudors, but it's
sure
like
they've
Henry
No.
VIII, Elizabeth I.
Okay.
This is like the King Henry who had many wives.
And he killed a bunch
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I've actually been to if you go to, in England, I've been to it numerous times. It is, Hever Castle.
okay, yeah.
And that was where,
Marie Antoinette and
yeah,
all
Marie
that stuff.
Antoinette, that was
Yeah.
where she lived at that castle. And it's,
Yep.
and it's very cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful castle, beautiful grounds. But
So I'm
anyway,
just laying the land, like laying the time. Like we're transporting you back to this time. So
Okay.
this is Henry VIII, Elizabeth I. Henry VIII broke from the Catholic Church and he established the Church of England.
Yes.
Which was separate from the actual church. It was the government being like, we are the church.
Yes.
Separate from the actual church. Yeah, it was crazy. This was also during the time of the Spanish Armada. And, this was the age of exploration and the heart of the Renaissance. Shakespeare was writing his plays at this time.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
So that just to
We did
give
a
you an
whole
idea
episode
of
on
where
that,
we
by
are.
the way, if you guys haven't heard it.
So just to give you an idea of where we are, like that's what's happening in the
Okay.
world, right? And America is the new.
Yeah, it's like the new cologne.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And it's also the third largest land. It's just this
Yeah.
massive
Yeah.
expanse, and they're
Yeah.
like on a little island,
Yeah.
like idiots.
So also, this is 200 years before the Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're not quite there yet.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
that was just like they were like, this is like discovery.
Yes, exactly. So in 1587, under the ambitious charter granted by Queen Elizabeth I, Sir Walter Raleigh dispatched a group of 115 colonists to establish a new English settlement in the New World. And this was called the Roanoke Colony. Often called the Lost Colony, and it was not actually the first English settlement, but it was the first attempt to make an English settlement. Yeah?
Can you imagine being on that crew list? They're like, look, check it out.
Yeah.
It's completely
It's
undeveloped.
totally fine. Yeah, it's going to be totally fine.
Bring your kids.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
There's gold everywhere.
I'm in.
Yeah. So the colony was established in 1587 on Roanoke Island in what is now North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first successful permanent English settlement was Jamestown, and that was founded a little bit later in 1607.
First successful.
Yes.
Roanoke was a huge fail.
So Roanoke Island, located in North Carolina, and this hopeful community sought to lay roots in America. However, shortly after its establishment, the entire colony vanished, leaving behind nothing but enigmatic clues and sparking one of the greatest mysteries in American history.
Anunnaki.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the story, and then we'll dive into it. But basically, 115 people went to settle this place, disappeared.
God, and it's every time
Okay.
I think about things back in this time, and maybe I'm a weirdo, but I'm like, God, it must have smelled so bad. I'm like, God, I'm like, oh, just a bunch of, and they're wearing like
That's what you're worried about?
Yeah, I know. That's what he thinks about.
thick fucking colored bonnets and like fucking wool coats, and I'm like, oh, God. Just the sweat in the...
They did not know about the humidity that's about to hit them.
Dude, I know.
You fools.
So Governor John White, which is, I don't understand why you would be so basic of a name.
I mean, that is like...
Yeah, it doesn't get more
It's almost not
John
even racial.
Anglo than that.
Anglo.
I wonder if he was white.
I'm going to take a wild guess.
So he was tasked with leading the colony with 115 colonists, including men, women, and children. And they arrived on the island in 1587. Upon the arrival, the colonists found that there was a fort abandoned, and which had been constructed by a previous expedition in 1585.
Oh, man, I would have been so pumped. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I have to build shit.
Yeah, it was like a pre-constructed fort. They're like, let's do it.
I know, it's like
Yeah.
they got foreclosed on, and like, look, we're going to squat here.
Yep.
So the new settlers began rebuilding the fort and established relations with the local Indians or Native American tribes, some of which were strained due to previous encounters of the white man.
Oh, yeah, they don't speak the same language, and they were just getting constantly like, oh, here, look, this. I have this beautiful hat here. Give me all of your buffalo.
And they brought fucking syphilis and chlamydia. And just
Right?
fucking,
Seriously.
yeah, and they just started banging everybody. And, like, how do you get
Those
so...
Indian dudes look good.
It's absolutely insane. Like, did they come over and just start banging people? And
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
100%.
Crazy.
Classic English.
I know. Yeah. So together with his fellow settlers, including his daughter Eleanor Dare, his daughter was named Eleanor Dare, and his granddaughter Virginia Dare. Virginia Dare became the first English-born person in America.
Oh, shit.
So if you wanted to know who was the first
Yeah,
person
like-
born in America,
It
like
was
a
her.
white person, it's Virginia Dare. Yeah.
Okay.
They worked to rebuild the fort and foster relations with the Native American tribes. However, the relationships were complex and strained because of the previous settlements that tried for the last 100 years.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So it was like a never-ending, like, I don't know. Just imagine you come over and you're like, there's 100 years of Indians being mad at you for 100 years of you coming in and just
Well,
taking
dude, it actually was
their
more
shit.
than 100
Yeah.
years. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah, for
like
sure.
Yeah. Like, it's funny, 'cause my great-great-grandfather was my
Great-great-great?
I think it might have been my great-great-great.
Great-great-great.
I think it was my great-great-great. He was a Buffalo Soldier.
Really?
And it was
Oh, yeah?
cool because the Buffalo Soldiers were Union military men, but they were black dudes. And they called them Buffalo Soldiers because the Indians did not trust white people. So they would send them. They were like, oh, okay, I guess
Interesting.
you guys are cool.
You're cool.
I was like, what up, homie?
They're from the Bahamas or something.
All right, cool.
Buffalo
No,
Soldier.
but they would be the ones that would have the interactions with the Native Americans because the Native Americans were like white devil, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
this over hundrds
Eric.
of years. They're like, we cannot trust you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric.
Interesting.
Eric, John Eric White.
So it's like bad joke. So as time went on, resources dwindled. They didn't know necessarily how to farm. They didn't know how to procure supplies, and their resources started to dwindle to where they started to starve.
Cannibalism. Every
So-
time.
I don't know.
Every
Do it again.
So John,
Can't help himself.
John decided that he had to leave the settlement and go back to England to get more supplies.
Oh yeah, good job. This is for you. I'll be back.
Trust me.
Trust
How
me.
fucked up is this? It's
Trust me.
so messed up. Like
Taking a
yeah.
one-man ship. I'm out of here.
So he went back to England. He left his family
Left
there.
his family. What a piece of shit. He
Wow.
probably had a side piece.
And he's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to be back 90 days. I'll be back.
90 days.
Don't
Easy
worry about it.
peasy.
I'll be back.
90
Yes.
days.
He went back to England. They were at war with Spain. And so, like, there was a naval war going on. So it wasn't like you could go.
Yeah, it's like straight shot.
Yeah, like there wasn't like a.
You
like-
gotta go like around.
Yeah, it wasn't like Spirit Airlines. And you just fucking pop over real
Yeah.
quick. Yeah. So it was significantly delayed due to that war, and it prevented him from securing a ship back to America. 3 years.
Oh wow.
Oh,
It took-
wow.
So then he finally
900
returned.
days. Just listen, 900 days. Easy
Can you
peasy.
imagine you just leave your family and it's like,
Sorry,
fuck it.
Virginia. I'll
Yeah.
be back.
You like go to Paris and you just fucking binge drinking, bunch of hookers and fucking Jack the Ripper and shit.
He
Just
comes
fucking
back.
going-
He's like 90 pounds
Yes.
heavier.
Yeah. So he finally made it back, but when he came back,
It was gone.
he found the colony was deserted.
I mean, they were already dwindling supplies. I mean, 3 years.
Wow.
They're fucking toast.
So he noted that the fort was overgrown, the houses collapsed, indicating that the site had been abandoned for some time. The only clues left behind were the word Croatoan, which is
Croatoan.
Croatoan, with Croatoan, carved into a fence post, and the letter CRO on a tree.
The fuck does that mean? Some like national treasure code here.
So White took these clues to suggest that the colonists may have moved and left to a Croatan island, which is now it's called Hatteras Island, but at the time it was called Croatoan Island,
Oh, okay. That
Okay.
makes some.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
where the Croatoan tribe, which were friendly to the colonists, they lived.
Oh, they were
Okay.
like, we've now married all of our women off to the Croatoan people.
So so what he thought was that they decided to go onto a tree, write the letter CRO, and be like, "Hey, this is where we went."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
sense.
Okay.
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll go with that.
He then went to that island. His efforts were thwarted by a series of misfortunes. Weather turned bad. There was a hurricane. One of the ships were damaged, and eventually, the captain of the ships that he was on said, "We cannot go further. We're returning to England."
Damn.
Oh, shit.
So
This guy's
And
like,
where
John
where
White.
is
John White,
it?
Father of the Year.
Like
just
still
a few miles down. I
Okay.
mean, 50 miles down.
Okay.
And not like a few, but like 50 miles down. Yeah.
a lot,
That's another
a lot
island.
shorter than England.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
island. Yeah. So apparently White was devastated as his
after,
family.
after 3 years of like piecing out
so
of his family.
his entire family was gone, including his daughter and his granddaughter, Virginia, the firstborn.
I don't think
that
this
sort of
motherfucker
thing.
was like,
Yeah?
did not shed one tear. Fuck this guy. I'm like, all right, sorry, sweetheart. I'll see 90 days. Promise you. I'll be
Here's
back.
what's the crazy part. He never returned. He went back to England. He
Wow.
never came back to America.
Settled into his new life.
The fate of the colonists remain unknown to this day. No rescue mission or thorough search was undertaken after by the English. The mystery
Interesting.
lingered and became a tale and a mystery and a legend
Fireside.
of America. And no bodies were found. No clothing was found. No personal belongings of the Roanoke colonists were ever found at the site of the deserted colony
Did they ever?
to this day.
Did they ever explore this Croatoan island?
Yeah,
Like dig?
And nothing?
nothing.
I mean, they didn't have no. They didn't have any ships or anything, right? They're like,
And it's not
We're
like
gonna
it's
swim. We're gonna
it's
swim.
not like it's Jorge, Sean, and Eric.
Yeah.
And we got like a little camp thing. We didn't find any fucking Modelo's.
we can't survive.
Yes.
And then Eric's like, I'm going to 7-Eleven. I'll be back
Yes.
in 90 days.
It's 115 people.
Yeah.
Women, children, men.
Yeah. Damn.
Nothing. Yeah.
I mean, it does, like, the thing that sucks, though, is, like, since he was gone for 3 years, it'd be different if he was gone for, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
There might be some signs of, like, tracks or
Yeah.
maybe you might find, like,
Yeah. So the English were ruthless, and their ambitions to colonize America was very strong, and so they just said, "Fuck Roanoke."
Place sucks.
No, and then a few years later, they established Jamestown,
Yeah.
which was the first permanent. Like, if you wanted to go to the oldest town of America, it's Jamestown.
Oh, okay.
I think they also like they this is like the test case. They're like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, we should probably bring more supplies and then learn how to cultivate
They
the
straight
land.
up just pieced him out.
Oh, it's so
Damn.
Yeah. So this is 500 years of speculation, of mystery, of I mean, they're some of the dumbest documentaries you'll ever watch in your entire life. Can't wait to watch those.
The little nighttime.
And they're like digging,
watching.
literally like 17 hours of them digging. Like, oh, there's an arrowhead. Maybe this was the Roanoke arrowhead. You know what I mean? Like, like I watched about 7 hours, and I was like,
There's nothing.
I feel like a lesser person now having watched
I actually
this.
know less about Roanoke.
Yeah. So there you go. That's really the story of Roanoke, and you can go there, and there's all these theories, and we're gonna go over the theories, but they range from murderous Indians to jealousy and you know what I mean? Yes,
Shit, they
and
run
like all sorts of stuff, but no evidence.
Like little,
That's the thing.
little Becky's looking good.
Exactly. So over the centuries, numerous theories and investigations have been proposed to explain the fate, one of which is the integration with local tribes. One of the most widely accepted theories is that the colonists, they were facing starvation and isolation, and they may have integrated with...
That's what seems like. That's what I was saying. Like, marry
seems
off,
pretty
like,
legit.
Hey, we got these fine white women here, my man.
Yeah.
Indians are like, okay, all right, we'll feed you.
You got a cheeseburger over there. I got a white woman over here.
It's like, look, fair trade. Same.
Now there's some this is very loose witnesses that say
Yeah.
no. I mean, like they say, oh, that tribe of Roanoke and the Indian tribe that was nearby had some white qualities to them. So then that means...
What do they define as a white quality?
Yeah.
I mean, receding hairline, blue eyes, big dick.
Well, this Indian's like, seven of the chieftains are bald bearded white men. We think that they got some qualities.
Another theory poses that the Spanish, who had established a presence in Florida, St. Augustine,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
they destroyed the colony, wiped them out, and that's the theory. Is that?
My thing is,
But there's no evidence that shows that.
I don't know how.
they
I
went
don't
all
know
the way
how
out.
the Spanish survived when they got to St. Augustine. I like, how the fuck did they survive? Because you could put me in St. Augustine with actual supplies, and I would die.
Dude, it's the most humid place on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my wife
It's
have
just
been there
a
multiple
blah, blah.
times, and we go to the fort, and I walk around,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm soaking wet. Let's go to this super hot bar that the AC doesn't.
How's that different from here?
Yeah. It's a little different
'Cause I'm
it's
walking
a little
more.
more.
Yeah, I
Also,
get it.
just,
That's true.
just imagine wearing a petticoat or some fucking some wool,
Spanish armor.
yeah, some wool shit, and you're living in a fucking
like a microwave.
oh gosh.
God.
Some believe that the colonists attempted to relocate to Chesapeake Bay, as suggested by some maps of the era showed that there was maybe a fort nearby, and they went to Chesapeake Bay. So that's one. Another possibility
Aliens.
is that
Yeah.
the
I like that one.
Another possibility is that the colonists decided to peace out of America, and
Go
they
where?
got on a boat
And just went
and got lost in sea in the Bermuda Triangle.
Ooh.
Ooh.
How
I like that.
I mean, because it's kind of close,
Yeah,
and you
ish.
kind of ish. I mean, you kind of
And
go.
they're not sea
no,
people.
no.
They're like this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the right way.
It's run by a bunch of women.
Can't drive.
Just kidding. It's a joke. Yeah. We'll keep that in.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
have a
100%.
problem.
No,
Yeah, I don't have a
I'm in. I'm all in.
Recent archaeological digs have provided some evidence that may support the integration theory.
I like the integration.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
integration.
Artifacts such as English pottery shards have been found in Native American sites, suggesting that some interaction between the colonists and local
Yeah,
tribes.
they just said they had blood sausage and beans for breakfast, and the Indian, I don't know what's going on here.
Blood sausage.
Dude,
Yeah, no,
English,
yeah,
every time I go to England, I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah,
It's like, why
yeah.
is it so heavy? I don't
Dude,
need like
I know.
this much density in my breakfast.
I'm always
Jesus
every
Christ.
time I go to Europe, I'm constipated by like 11 a.m.
Dude, it's crazy.
know.
And I'm like, God. And then I'm like, oh, I guess we'll have a Guinness with this.
I guess.
I guess. I'm like,
Yeah, we're like the fat ones. I don't understand it.
literally, I'm like,
understand it.
how are you all not obese? This is crazy. Anyways.
The story of Roanoke has captivated historians, archaeologists, etc., contributing to a broader understanding of the early colonial endeavors on American soil. But there are hundreds of books, movies, documentaries, fictional movies, all this sort of thing. It's a very much like a campfire story.
Yeah, because there's no data.
Yeah, nothing.
They were there. We know that.
Yeah.
And then they weren't.
Yeah.
And we know that.
Modern archaeological techniques such as ground penetrating radar, DNA analysis. Now these are part of the documentaries that you'll want to kill yourself after watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're going to fucking put it in the ground for 12 hours.
And I was like, nope, nothing here.
Yeah, yes, 100%. And that's it. Yeah, and you move on.
Yeah, they're like,
And you're like,
sick.
fuck.
It was a $2 million grant. And it's on the toilet.
Meanwhile, you invested like a few hours,
I know.
a few like Heinekens in, and you're like, God damn
Yeah.
it, nothing here.
I know you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Down, like thumbs down on Netflix, you piece of shit.
While some archaeological findings suggest potential integration of native tribes, others propose that environmental factors may have played significant roles in the disappearance.
I mean, yeah, like America is not England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not overcast all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, some places are.
This is
but-
North Carolina too, so there's storms, it's humidity, it's a little bit of Florida and a little bit of north.
Yeah.
True.
You got cold,
True.
Yeah,
fucking ass
there's
weather.
yeah,
there's
like,
all of
the
the things.
seasons.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
yeah.
if they're coastal, yeah, like
Yeah.
you're gonna get like hit.
But again, it's very strange to me because no graves, no.
Yeah, you think there would be like one motherfucker died there and they buried him.
But very little things, and then they just gave up on him, and like the people gave up on him, the
And they
family
didn't
gave
find,
up
like,
on
any
him.
like clothes or like nothing, like nothing.
Nothing. And so a lot of
Maybe
things.
they were fucking. Maybe the Indians just murked them and they took all their shit. But there'd be bodies though.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they took the bodies. Too.
Unfortunately, the difference
Want these.
between this and say Dyatlov Pass is we have like photos, and we saw
Yeah,
like
this and what?
Dyatlov
Dyatlov
Pass.
Pass.
You know what I mean? Like
I mean, the other pass also happened like
yeah,
50 years ago.
yeah,
So, like,
true. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of like. I mean, we don't even have to get into the whole like theories of how they treated the Indians wrong and the Indians butchered them, but we don't know because there's no data.
No, I could also see like even if they didn't treat them wrong, I get to see. Let's say like you're.
You just like happen to run into them.
Yeah,
and
you're
they're
in a
like,
tribe and you're
oh
like,
shit.
Yeah, and they're like, you see all these people that are like, to you, they're alien. You're
Yeah.
like, who the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
hell is this?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, they got to be
Yeah.
enemies. Fuck them. Like,
Yeah.
You don't know this.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like risk it. And maybe like you have like heard stories. Maybe their campfire tales are like,
Yeah.
these fucking pale motherfuckers come here and they got muskets and shit.
So
And
here
we're like, "Gotta
are
kill
a
'em."
couple like this would be the stuff that we would talk about at the campfire. Yeah, here are a couple like little anecdotes about the story. Yeah. Okay, one is the Virginia Dare symbols. Okay, and she was the firstborn.
Yeah, firstborn, yeah.
She was the firstborn on American soil. She's
first-
technically
the first
like
real American.
She's the first real American.
Well, except
Technically,
for
yeah.
the Native Americans.
Yeah, I mean,
First,
Never get any credit.
never. The first human born on American soil. And the guys are like, yo, like, what? We've been here for thousands of years. Fucking losers. Never getting credit. Even by brown people, we're
I
like,
know, right?
sorry, Virginia was the first.
Okay.
So, her name and the circumstances of her birth have become emblematic of the mysterious disappearance of the colony. Over the years, her story has intertwined with American folklore, including a legend where she is transformed into a white doe by Native American magic. The myth symbolizes
Okay.
the merging of English settlers with the native environment, reflecting deeper themes of adaptation and survival.
Yeah, so we're gonna like check that one off before we're gonna scratch it. Hell no.
next one?
Indian witch doctor turns homegirl into.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. This is like where like we have like peyote, and we're fucking.
Yeah, they're like
smoking-
they're like split tents. Like,
Maybe this is what happened to Virginia. She became a fucking doe in Harry Potter's fucking.
she's the elder wand.
Yeah, she's fucking yeah.
Made from her femur.
Then there's the Dare stones. In 1937, a stone allegedly inscribed by Eleanor Dare, which was the mom of Virginia, was found in North Carolina. The stone, known as the Dare stone, claimed to relay the fate of the Roanoke colonists,
On like a little stone. It's like
suggesting
hella small. Like, okay, here's what happened.
suggesting they suffered a series of misfortunes. However, the authenticity of this and subsequent stones found later remains controversial.
I'd love to see the stone.
These stones, if authentic, would offer a direct account from a colonist about their fate. But again, the authenticity
The thing
remains.
about that is like
curious
we'd carve CRO into a tree, and then she's like, "I'm gonna chronicle this all on a stone.
Right.
Check me out here." Like we'll never know the difference.
Next one is John White's map.
Okay.
Remember John White, right?
I think,
He's a fucking dick.
I think John White is like organized. Like he was like.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna invite all my homies
He
that I
wasn't-
hate.
yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
I'm gonna dump my kids off and like peace.
What an intricate way to get rid of your wife.
I know, like he's a murderer, and he's like, I came back.
Christ. Yeah.
And he like looks
I
like
swear.
Years later.
And he's like, nope, no one's here. Gotta go.
Yeah. John White, the governor of Roanoke Colony, created a detailed maps of the region. Modern technology revealed a hidden fort symbol under a patch on one of the maps, suggesting that the colonists might have moved inland to a location previously planned for fortification.
Dude, how much you want to bet that John White knew where they were and was like, can't find anything?
Yeah.
Back to England. He like saw them. He's like, oh shit.
Back to Paris!
Where's the wine? Back to the city.
This discovery directed recent archaeological efforts inland, like Site X, in hopes of finding evidence, providing a potential clue to their fate. But again, nothing was found.
No real evidence.
No
No,
real
concrete.
Again,
So it'd be kind of like you
Speculation.
came back, you looked for your family, you made a map, and then you put a little X. And then later on, Sean's like, I found fucking John White's map. And then there was an X on it, and you're like, what the fuck is that X? Like 500 years later.
remember that X like where he like took his shit?
I know.
Don't
I
step
know.
here.
Yeah.
took shit at this X.
Or it's like he buried his diary.
Gold.
Cool. Okay, good. The next one, Spanish involvement. The Spanish Empire competing with England for domination in the Americas, because at this time it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
real heated. They kept detailed records of their rivals' colonial activities. Spanish documents reference Roanoke, but intriguingly do not report any direct interference with the colony. The absence of Spanish involvement in the colony's fate, despite their knowledge and proximity, adds another layer of mystery. Meaning,
They were pretty far away though. Like they'd have to send like.
Well, they were up there too. I mean, they were like.
it goes back to not having any info is suspicious.
I know they're like it's sus that they didn't do shit about it.
Yes. Yes.
Like, well, America is like 12 times the size of both of your countries
Dude,
combined.
yes,
Like,
exactly. So again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. It's like literally like it's so weird that they
It's so weird that they
do
didn't
anything,
know.
that they let them be. Sketch.
I love those. I love them so much. Okay, good. Then we go back to the tree carvings. When John White returned to Roanoke in 1590, he found the colony deserted, no trace of the colonists except for the word Croatan carved into a post and CRO on a tree.
That's got to have some significance.
These carvings suggest that the colonists might have moved to Croatan. Am I saying that right? Croatoan?
I think it's Croatoan.
Croatoan Island. Other, less well-documented carvings, supposedly bearing the initials of colonists, could indicate their paths or fates, but have not been verified as the same certainty as that original message. Meaning there were other carvings, but everybody agrees that somebody wrote Croatoan
Okay.
into a post and CRO into a tree.
Okay.
Okay, good. The next one.
But then, yeah, why? But see, my thing is like, okay, you do the full word into a post, but only CRO into the tree.
Well, you can, I mean, it's hard to to write on a tree. Like it's
They just gave up like,
yeah.
good enough.
Have you ever tried to carve anything into a tree? It's fucking hard, dude.
I guess I don't live in the 1500s.
Dude, it takes a long time.
Yo, I'll
Takes
be
a
at
long
the
ass
spot.
time.
Yeah, long as
Send me a pin.
Three letters.
I know, they're
Probably
like,
took them all day.
I know, they're like, I'm starving. I can't
Yeah, I know.
keep doing this. So funny.
Okay, so then there's something called the Satterfield site. In recent archaeological excavations on Hatteras Island, which was formerly Croatoan Island, having covered English artifacts dating from the late 16th century, which could belong to the Roanoke settlers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Items such as parts of a sword hilt and pottery fragments suggest a possible relocation of the colonists to this area, supporting the hypothesis derived from the Croatoan carving.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most obvious choice.
These findings potentially connect the physical movements of the colonists to a specific location. But then the question then becomes, if they moved to Croatoan Island, did they just absorb into that tribe and then disappear?
I mean, it's
Disappear.
It's either that,
I mean, not disappear.
You know, like
but-
after the, like
it's,
there's just
it's either that. Like I don't
frustrating.
I don't ever foresee like them fully integrating into the tribe. I see the tribe being like, kill the dudes,
yeah.
like or like make them slaves or something.
You're cool.
Yeah,
You're cool.
come here, Virginia. Like,
Virginia Dare, huh?
hey, Steve, why don't you come meet me by the fireplace?
I dare you to come to my tent real quick. Stupid.
Put on this blindfold, Virginia.
The story of Roanoke has captured the imagination of many. It's become literature, books, film, television. I mean, you could go do ghost tours.
Oh yeah.
Roanoke Island right now.
It's so funny you do ghost tours, but there's like no bodies there.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Yeah.
where are the ghosts be?
It's honestly it's one of the ones that are in. It's just American folklore. It's
Oh, yeah.
Roanoke.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like at this point it'll never be solved.
yeah.
Unless we solve it tonight,
Yeah.
which we might.
So let's get into the fucking wild ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
The real wild ones.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
One of the more outlandish theories suggests that colonists were abducted by aliens.
What did I say?
Or
There
vanished.
ain't no shit left, no fucking clothes, not a one pot, not a one teacup.
Or vanished due to supernatural forces, kind of like an X-Files kind of phenomenon.
But isn't X-Files aliens?
Well,
Yeah.
well,
It can
no,
also- not
it's
all
also
of it,
like
yeah.
it's also like demons and
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
fucking weird.
I mean, they did talk about the Indian witch doctor and got turned to dove.
Yes,
But
exactly.
like, where do clothes go?
Yes.
I don't know.
Some theories propose that Roanoke colonists left the island to live with indigenous tribes, but were later taken by explorers or traders from other non-European countries that made contact with the Americas before Columbus as slaves.
Yeah, they're like, we're saved! Slaves!
Yes.
Like, God damn it.
So then they made that transatlantic travel, to Africa, and then became slaves.
God, can you imagine fucking...
And then they were wiped out.
you imagine traveling to a
as
different
far as-
country on a wooden ship?
Oh my
Like,
god.
Have you seen Amistad?
Dude,
Yeah. That's a hard one to watch.
dude,
That is the-
brutal.
Set us
Set us
free. Oh my god, dude!
so
It's so
intense.
good though.
It's
like
a great
It is good.
It's
Yeah.
all the acting, everything
Set
is
us,
good.
us free.
Yeah, so good.
God, fuck. Ugh. I know.
Another
But
theory,
they're like with him on the ship.
another theory poses that the colonists were either massacred by the Native Americans
But they left no traces.
or by the Spanish that were nearby in Florida.
Maybe one of the things that I'm talking about, like maybe the Spanish just took them. Maybe the Spanish came in, they're like, fuck you, you're coming
done.
with us down to
Yeah.
the glades.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
So maybe that's why there's no, they
A
took all their shit.
conspiracy part of it
Introduce you
is,
to an alligator.
the conspiracy part of that is that they were massacred and then the English covered it up because they didn't want to deter
The new settlers,
the new settlers of Jamestown.
they disappeared. Oh, maybe like they gave John White like found the shit,
like
like
that.
had to clean up the evidence. That's actually legit. I like that.
I like
Because
that.
if you think about it, they're trying to get people to settle America.
You know, you
Right.
coming like, what's the track record we got?
Well, the first one, they all got slaughtered and everybody got raped, by the way. Yeah.
But we got a new plot.
Yeah.
Looking real hot.
So that's the conspiracy theory is
I
that
like
the
that.
English government or royalty covered it up and said, "Oh no, they just disappeared." Whatever. We're not talking about
They
that.
would have it.
Don't worry about it. Have you heard of Jamestown?
Like, what did you say? Guy gets like killed.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Right? We're going about Jamestown, right?
In it. It's wild, isn't it?
It's in it. What?
There's a cheese there.
Yeah. Fucking sucker. Sorry, Gamer Dave. What do you got, baby?
Don't even call it soccer.
Yeah, football, right?
Well, they had like all Cockney accents, fucking ancient fucking English.
Some suggest that the disappearance was orchestrated or later covered up by the English government.
You know what? If the government's involved, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Solved.
As a military strategy against the Spanish and about settling, because they needed settlers coming. So
course they
that's what we're
did.
talking
I
about.
like that theory.
Yeah. Super fringe on the extra fringe. Time travelers.
Oh, fuck. That's not even fringe. That's just like it's a different universe.
Some have
travelers.
suggested that colonists disappeared because they traveled through time or found a portal to another
They
dimension.
found like a Stargate.
The theory is often supported only by fictional accounts. We don't have any evidence of that.
No shit. We have.
Yeah, of course.
Damn it. We didn't find.
We will.
The portal. Fuck. No evidence. But what was that one?
But how would we have evidence? Because they went to a different time.
We will have evidence soon. It's coming up. They're like 5 years in the future.
Is it gonna be like the whole like the DB Cooper thing that people
Yeah.
on
Oh my
deathbed?
God.
I'm from Roanoke. It's like I time traveled.
Oh my God. Last one, witchcraft. Linked to the supernatural theories, some narratives suggest that the colonies fell victim to occult practices or witchcraft, which led to the disappearance. This ties into the broader fears and stereotypes of that time, which was the pagan practices attributed to both Native Americans and the misunderstood elements of the Elizabethan religion, and moving into Salem and moving into like the witches and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I think a lot of that is honestly that's like propaganda by like the Catholic
Yeah.
Church. So like
Yeah.
these pagans are doing all this weird shit, and they're like,
I
"What? Are you
know.
what? I'm sorry, I didn't like."
Isn't that one weird? We should do Salem pretty soon.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, that one's
It's a
a
good one.
weird one.
Yeah.
You know.
It's super fucking weird because I'm
Fucked
telling you,
up.
it's like I'm pretty sure it's like the fucking Goebbels propaganda machine.
I
They're
know.
like, oh, you're a witch. Like, there's all those
You're a
memes
witch.
too. They're like, like your girl cheats on you back in the day,
Yeah.
like you like fuck, like you
know.
fucking string her up as
Yeah.
a witch. Like, it's so fucked, and it's really easy because people were very like devout in the time, and obviously the church ran the country. I mean, in essence, and same with Spain too. The Catholic Church ran Spain.
Yeah.
That's why, like, that's
And a lot was going on with Henry VIII at the time because he was trying to he wanted to get a divorce from
And they
one of his
wouldn't let
wife,
him?
and they wouldn't let him.
So he's like, fuck
So
that.
he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make it my own church,"
Divorce
and it's separate from this,
Divorce is
whatever.
totally kosher.
Because he thought he was godlike and
Yeah, and everyone like,
Yeah.
I just killed my wives.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get divorced. You died. Whoopsies.
So there you go. That's the Lost Colony of Roanoke, and all our truck driver listeners who are driving through the North Carolina and South Carolina areas, and you pass Roanoke, and I don't know. I mean,
Just know that there's nothing there.
there's really nothing there. It's just a bunch of islands, and it's kind of like if you went to, if you went into Tampa Bay and you found one of those islands, and it's got
Oh,
like
the
a
random
few,
ones.
yeah,
like,
it's got
trees.
It's got like a few trees, that sort of thing. Just imagine that, but a little bit longer, maybe a mile or two of a little island with you could camp there.
Like a little Caladesi Island or one of those.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
That'd be like not a good place to settle.
I know.
Idiots.
I know.
There's like a whole land right there. Like, no. This is the
Trust
spot.
me.
Man. This is the spot.
You're like, bro, there's no dirt. It's just sand.
just sand, like water. And they're
That's
like,
fine. We're gonna build a house here.
Look, there's a fort.
Yeah,
There's a fort. We're
no
good.
problem. Yeah. Have you heard of a sinkhole, John? John.
I was like,
I mean,
I am the governor.
he's like, it's fine. I'm leaving. And like, I'm leaving like Friday.
I was like, oh shit! Oh, supply run, sweetheart. Sorry.
All right, so I don't know. I know there's not a lot of data, but what's crazy about this is if you went and you were like, I want to look into this more, You could watch 50 hours of documentaries
And-
and provide no more
get
data than
no-
we
yeah.
have now.
Yeah.
Information.
Yes,
You're at the
literally.
same spot as when you started.
Exactly.
It actually is more confused.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I apologize if it's condensed into a, like, this is just what I got out of
just
all
all
of
it
that.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, I don't know.
I really-
115 people. And the main dude pieced out. 3 years later, came back. Oh, nobody's here. I'm out again.
I think that, well, go to the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that the English government covered it up.
Okay.
100%.
I like that. I like that
I
theory.
think
Oh,
they,
yeah,
I think
too.
they covered it up. I think actually what happened is maybe a little vanilla, but I think they probably were starving, and then they probably tried to integrate in like or go with, and maybe they took some of them, but not. But I think that there was probably bodies there, like
Yeah.
people who died of starvation because
Yeah.
there had to be a body there.
Yeah.
One person had to have died there, minimum.
Yeah.
And they weren't gonna like take it on like the caravan with
Yeah.
them. Like,
Right,
fuck
right.
that.
Yeah.
So I think that when John White came back and they probably had like a fleet of dudes, I think they were like, yo, bring the bodies.
Yeah.
Clean it up, make
Yeah.
it look like nothing
We have to get
happened.
Jamestown going in, like,
Yeah. They're like,
post haste.
yeah, we're like post haste. Post haste. They're like, this is a logistical nightmare. If,
Yeah.
like, people are gonna want to come here. They're like, just take the bodies. They vanished.
Yeah.
They actually all went to heaven, boys. That's what
Yeah.
happened. So I think that it
Or
was
just bury them. Just like get rid of it, right?
They
Like
would have found. They would have
We found something.
They would have found a bone.
Or a grave, or even like
Right,
a little
that's true.
cross. I
Yeah,
don't
they would have
fucking
found. They
know
would have found
anything.
something.
Something.
I think they took the bodies.
But what's the words in the tree? Just some dude leaving his thing.
I mean, it could be like Cassie, Richard, Oswaldo.
Oswald.
I don't know. Fucking.
So you think that's just not
I mean,
relevant?
that kid just fucking etching shit, and I don't know. Like, it'd be like it could be nothing. I mean, granted, the Croatoan thing is like pretty captivating, but like maybe like they went and they're not sailors and they just died at sea.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's the only other logical.
tried to go
explanation.
home.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, we got.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a boat.
Yeah.
Because John
Well, if
White's
they-
like, I'm
but
taking
if they
over
try to
the
go
boat.
home-
Follow the sun.
They went up back on the island. Fuck! Damn it!
It's true.
The world is flat.
I mean, we joke, but that's literally like,
could be.
yeah. We didn't think America was here.
I like the idea that they just got to a point where there's like, fuck, we're starving, nothing. Like, what are we gonna do? So they started making their way to this island that they knew was there. So that's why they
Yeah.
kind of left, word behind by
Because you got to leave your guy.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like 2 years later. He's abandoned us.
Also, but did they not have paper? Could you just like
that's a
tie it like
a good
you know what I mean?
question,
Why do you
huh?
got to do like a coded message?
I know. Like,
Just leave a letter.
and they're like, hey,
John.
I know,
Hey,
it's
John, I'm south 50 miles.
like, damn, that's like
No
so
big deal.
logical. But like, also, it's like if you're gonna leave, like, we only have enough time to write one word.
Three letters.
3 letters into one
What the
word.
fuck are they doing?
They just gave up. It's too fucking hard. I'm telling you.
They're all
You
like-
ever tried the tree? It's
Yeah,
fucking
they're all
hard.
starving.
Meanwhile-
I'm telling you.
Meanwhile, fucking Shakespeare's writing Romeo and Juliet like
He's
across the
He's
pond.
illiterate.
Yeah, and he's across the pond writing the fucking greatest play of all time.
They're like, crow. Not even crow. It's like
Yeah,
crow.
what the fuck is going on?
What do you
Sorry.
think?
Sorry. No, good. No, finish your thing. Yeah.
I mean,
What do you think happened?
I just think that they went on their way to this island.
Yeah.
And either A.
All 115 of them.
Yes.
Are like, I'm out.
Yeah, all of them. Fuck
It's
it.
like
Like,
shit
there's
just
nothing here. Like,
Instantly capsizes.
Yeah.
that was, I don't know. I'm fighting between that's one theory. They somehow made it out there, but they got lost at sea somewhere. Okay, that's like version one. Like,
So maybe they took a boat down because it's 50 miles.
yeah.
It's a bit of a
They
trek.
ran into the Spanish or something.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Oh
trek.
shit!
No, I don't think. I think they just ran into some like not knowing what to do at sea, and they just got lost and they died.
Jack
Right?
Sparrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise the sheet.
Or they went inland, and then I mean, like this fucking country is huge, and then they just kept going. They just kept going like far enough deep in that
Yep.
you're never gonna see them.
The original Trail of Tears.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I really like the theory. I think a lot of them got sick.
Okay.
And then it was covered up.
Oh, definitely think it was covered.
Oh, that's true. I do like that theory.
So maybe half of them got sick and died,
Oh, and then they found the.
But where'd they end up?
and then they all just scattered. Like meaning, like
So they weren't- they
all
didn't
go
stay there.
together. Like
Oh, there was like, I'm
there's
taking
like,
my family.
My
and
family's like,
yeah.
I'm out, and I'm gonna go find my way. And they went to like the Blue Ridge Mountains, and
Died
some
there.
with Indians, and some with this, and some went this way, and some went that way.
I mean, that makes
and then half of them died, and then
When they came
covered
back
up.
and they were like, we got to kick these bodies out of here.
Yeah, and then they covered it up.
I definitely think there was a cover.
I like that.
for
I do like that
I
theory.
really think there was a cover up because they are trying to you're trying to get people to go, and if you're not,
Yeah,
unless you owe taxes to the government, and they're like you're going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think they're not gonna hard press to
Yeah.
really get people to go. They're like, well. Like, my fucking next door neighbor just died there, bro. Like, how the fuck would I go? Like, I'm living
Yeah.
pretty good. I'm like...
I don't really understand the tree.
It really doesn't make sense.
That part doesn't.
Well, they're leaving word behind. They're leaving a note behind to where.
They're leaving not an incomplete word.
But it's also,
they
it doesn't
did
mean
it.
it's
They
a-
did the full word in
On
the
the
fence.
post, yeah.
But it
Or
doesn't
the-
necessarily
whatever it
mean
was.
that all 115 did that. Like it could have been just some crazy ass bitch.
Oh, maybe a new governor took over and
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. There's
yeah, like it doesn't. Like I know, like if we were all in a commune with 115 people and we were like, okay, we're all dying, just so you know, I would be like, I'm not really following you anymore, buddy.
No.
I'm like out on my own. And maybe he did something on a tree.
yeah, I mean,
Does that make sense? Like,
when-
it doesn't have to.
Well, when shit gets when shit gets wild,
Yeah.
maybe he's he just takes all the supplies for himself.
Yes, exactly.
Because a little diversion with the crow. Meet me at the Crow Town, folks. And he dips. He's like, I'm out. And they all oh, we gotta go to Crow Town. And he's like, peace.
So the last thing on it is that haunted. There is theories that
Their
the
bodies
island is super haunted.
Meh.
Now, so then I have two questions. One,
It's haunted after some traumatic,
Yeah,
no. I mean, if you all
After they
die of
died.
disease and then
But why did you get hunted because of disease? You're pissed? Ah!
Yeah.
yeah.
The shit out of this place. I got sepsis.
So, but I have two questions
Haunt
on
the
it.
shit
One-
out of you.
So I have two questions. On it.
Chlamydia, damn it!
So I have two questions on it. One is, do you believe in ghosts? And two, like haunting ghosts.
Uh-huh.
And then two, is Roanoke haunted?
Dude, I do because I lived in when I lived in Ohio, and one of the houses we lived in of the street called Observatory, it was the first house on the street. It was dude, it was literally 200. I think it was 200 years old. It was
Fuck.
dude, it was
so old.
old. It was old
So
as fuck, and it used to be a farmhouse. And dude, there was
You crank the electricity and
dude, weird shit would always happen, and my parents had multiple stories of and my mom was not one to get fucking scared, and my dad too. My dad's like, hey, whatever, I'm not fucking scared of shit.
Yeah.
And he literally told me the story of how he was in bed, and my mom had a very similar thing happen to her, and he said he's in bed and he feels my mom get out of bed. And he's like, oh, okay. It's dark. He's like, oh, she's going to bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And then he feels her, fucking feels her get back into bed, and he rolls over and there's nobody there. And he's like, Charles, where the fuck are you? And she was downstairs in the kitchen.
Really?
Yeah, bro. Literally, he said he
shit.
fucking freaked the fuck out. He actually freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
like, oh my God. Can you imagine that?
Wow, that's
you
pretty
feel somebody
crazy.
in the bed,
Totally.
and you're like, oh, hey.
you feel their aura or their
The weight. No,
Yeah.
the weight
Oh,
of getting
physically.
Yeah, you physically feel someone get into the bed.
Oh,
I can feel
that's freaky.
I can feel when my wife gets in the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And it rolls over and she's not there. My mom's downstairs in the kitchen. I was
That's freaky.
Bro, that is terrifying. So I think that there's some I think we had this conversation before.
about ghosts and
About
stuff.
ghosts and
Yeah, I think so.
how
Yeah.
the effects that how much effect can they create? I don't know. But I
Yeah.
think there's some
Yeah, we did, we did.
It's
version
like
of that.
Patrick Swayze with the penny.
Or he's like, man, ooh, some of them racing me
Yeah.
right now, and I'm making this pottery.
I don't know what
I don't-
that song is, but yeah, I would sing it. Right
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah. I forgot.
I don't
about
want to close. No.
it. No, not that one.
That's definitely not it.
Okay.
As far as ghosts, I actually
In Roanoke, do
okay.
a
Well,
little
as
bit
far
of
as
both.
ghosts, I want to believe in it, but I've never had an experience. I've never ran into anything.
right
I've never
there
had a
with you,
personal
buddy.
experience.
Right.
My
Right there
parents.
But not even somebody that I knew like
there's
you.
no experience.
No, nothing. So, but I don't know. I feel like it's gotta exist somewhere.
I'm with you, man.
I don't think that.
I'm glad you were honest
that-
about it too, though.
Huh?
I'm glad you were honest about it.
Yeah. Oh, I remember now.
I know.
We did have this
Yeah.
conversation because I told you about that one thing in San Antonio about the ghost of the kids.
The bus,
pushing.
yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't remember if it was in San Antonio or not, but it was
I
like
remember that
somewhere in
story, though,
Texas.
yeah.
No, I forget what episode it was, but we talked about ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
I do remember that.
But Roanoke? I mean, I know you guys
Haunted?
haven't been there, but
Is it
apparent-
haunted?
Yeah, apparently it has a thing.
100%.
Nah.
Yeah.
Definitely not haunted.
No.
No
Just
one's
theory.
there. There's no one there
Just
to haunt.
theory.
They're just
Yeah.
like there, like fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna damn it.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not buying that one.
Yeah?
Nah.
All right.
Definitely not.
All right, well, there you go. There you guys go. I think we solved Roanoke,
Yeah.
frankly.
Sure.
Government cover up.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh, I mean, they
Oldest
got-
trick in the book.
I think we kind of all agree, like, they got sick or they got murdered.
Yeah.
and
Or
then
they died of starvation.
And then the people who came after were like, we're not telling anybody about this.
yeah, they're like,
You know what I mean?
I mean, we can't drive the property value
Can't
down.
do this.
You gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta keep it
Yeah.
on the ups.
So there you go. Prove us wrong.
Yeah. I dare you.
I dare you. Sons of
dare you.
bitches.
I don't want to hear your shitty comments on TikTok anymore.
I don't want to
Friend.
TikTok you. Yeah, TikTok.
We will answer, but stop doing it.
All right. There you guys go.
Night and night.